Man, maybe I'll wake up and
You
feel like
will.
building something.
You will.
Yeah.
You should. And you know I'm always here. If you need to run something past me, I got you.
I know that you the best person to do that to, y'all, and everybody know it and love you for it, man. And
Thank
now
you.
Minneapolis is crazy. If you were just on with us just a couple minutes ago, Kim had me testifying earlier about KMOJ and
Yes.
my love for KMOJ. So definitely, y'all, if you get a chance, man, and to call in and tell folks what KMOJ means to you, I know it means a lot
Yes.
to me. So. Kim had me testifying,
I
y'all. Welcome.
did.
Listen, this is
Thank
this is
you.
Minne. You're welcome. This is Minneapolis 360. I'm your host, Anthony Taylor. Always coming to you twice a month here at 1 o'clock on KMOJ to bring information, hopefully enlighten folks and give folks a chance to really get more knowledge about a lot of different things that we have going on in our city. One thing I do want to mention here before we go, just appreciate the people who went out and voted last week. We were about just a little over a week since elections. You know, the people have spoken, right? So the only way that you can get your voice heard is to be able to vote. So, and I'm not here to identify or endorse anybody. I just want to endorse the process, right? So endorse and just really admire folks who get out and have their voices heard by voting. So just looking at some of the numbers, I just really appreciate Minneapolis getting out and voting for whoever you thought your candidate was for a lot of different seats in the city council, mayor, as well as some of the ballot questions. So just love to hear that, y'all. And one of the things I think is important too that we talk about is the Upper Harbor Terminal project. And listen, Minneapolis, we've had this topic on before, and I hear from a lot of people how important this is, right? So we'll get into it. We've got some people who I just truly expect coming on, some returners to the show, and that's always great to have. I'll give them their proper introductions here pretty soon, but I want to just talk a little bit, y'all, about COVID and people will say, well, Anthony, we know COVID is still going on, and we're trying to do what we can, and people have been doing that for quite a while. But what I want to just really just kind of inform people is really about the booster shots, right, and the shots now available for the babies, right? So now we're into a phase where children between 5 and 11 can get the vaccine shot. So if that's your choice, I just want to make sure folks kind of understand that, right? We got about over 500,000 people across Minnesota, children, right, that are eligible for the Pfizer shot between the babies. So just want to give folks a little bit of information on that, and also two booster shots. Right, so now there's administering Moderna and Johnson and Johnson booster shots to give folks to kind of boost up those who have already had their vaccine. So listen, your choice, but I just want to just kind of give you that information, right? If you're 65 or older, 18 or older, living in long-term health care settings, 18 and over with underlying medical conditions, or 18 and older who work and live in high-risk settings, right? So that booster shot is available in Minneapolis if you want to get that shot. And just also, too, and we had Eliza on last show, and she talked about that, too, the epidemiologist from the city of Minneapolis, but mixing and matching of the booster shot is fine, too. So I don't want to dig deep into the weeds, because if you listened last week, Elisa gave some great information, but just want to share that, right? So please, if you're interested in getting your vaccination for your kids, go to mn.gov/vax for kids, the website. You can get more information on that, Twin Cities, Minneapolis. So just want to kind of put that in the space before we get to a project that I think is one of the most beautiful things that's happening or will happen in our city. And I'm just blessed to have two people who have been working tirelessly on this project because it's important. And Markella Smith has been on several times before. She's on the Upper Harbor Terminal Collaborative Planning Committee co-chair, and James Trifes from Public Policy Project are on the data to talk about that, the project about Upper Harbor. So please, if we have questions for these two, please call 612-377-3456. But I am So happy, Markella and James, that y'all are on today, man, and welcome and how y'all doing today?
Thanks for having us. I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here.
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Good. And we'll start just telling Twin Cities, Markella and James, and Markella want to go first. Just kind of what's your role in around the Upper Harbor? And just kind of introduce the people, introduce yourself to the people. Excuse me.
Thank you. So I'm the executive director at McKinley Community. Long-time Northsider, been here my whole life, and served as the co-chair for the Upper Harbor Terminal Collaborative Planning Committee.
Go ahead, James.
Okay, cool. I didn't know she was finished. Yeah, James Trice with the Public Policy Project. And my role was just actually to bring the community together. And what we created was learning table to bring the community and developer and the city and the parks together to really talk about what the community would like to see at the Upper Harbor Terminal, and make sure that whatever benefits happen there go to the community, and that the community has what it is it wants. Now, let's be clear about this. Not everybody's going to be happy. And you can't please everyone. But we're doing the best we can to make sure that the community has the information they need, ask the questions that they want to ask the city and the developer, and make sure that the community benefits, that this development comes without displacement, meaning that we don't want anybody displaced that lives in the area for this development. Usually what happens in development around the country is developers will come in, or the city will come in, or some entity will come in and do some development in a community. And what happens many times is that the people that are there get displaced, particularly people of color, low-income people, and other marginalized groups get displaced during the development. We want to make sure this project that no one gets displaced and that everyone can enjoy, in North Minneapolis, can enjoy the benefits of this project.
Yep, and appreciate you saying that too, James, and that's super dope. So, Markella, just give folks in Minneapolis who don't know just kind of the history of this project and how we got here.
Right. So the Upper Harbor Terminal site is more than 48 acres of city-owned land that's along the Mississippi River in North Minneapolis between the 33rd Avenue and approximately 40th Avenue. So between the Laurie and Camden bridges over the river. So they're preparing for a significant redevelopment of the land, which has been used as a barge shipping terminal for decades. So as far as public use, it just hasn't been used. And the vision for that development is to redevelop the riverfront for regional park amenities, and then also private development that will benefit North Minneapolis and the metro area. So again, for us and the people at the table with the CPC, like, it's been a push to make sure that this development directly benefits Northsiders, and not something that is going to make us feel like we don't belong there. So this development is expected to include, of course, affordable housing. We've got some mixed-use housing, some riverfront parkland, and then the outdoor performing arts center.
We are talking with Markella Smith and James Trice regarding Upper Harbor Terminal project. And Markella, where are we at? You know, this has been, so much work has been going on on this project and this process. Where are we at? Can you give us an update since the last time you were on the show?
Right. It has definitely been like a long process. However, I am happy to say that as of October 8th, the Minneapolis City Council approved the Upper Harbor Coordinated Plan, and also, which is huge, the dedication of the net ground lease payments from the private developments into a special revenue fund that will directly support Northside anti-displacement and wealth creation initiatives. So that was a big kind of milestone for us. And then as of yesterday, November 9th, the biz committee of the City Council received a presentation on the Upper Harbor Terminal. and there will be a public hearing on land conveyances for the park development parcels and an easement for Xcel Energy. So there's still a lot going on. And then also recently, the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board published a concept plan for a new regional park at the Upper Harbor Terminal site. So there's a 45-day public comment period currently that ended on October 21st. And you can view the park concept plan and companion public art plan on the MPRB Upper Harbor Terminal Regional Park Project webpage.
And James, to bring you in this conversation, man, how big is the recent developments and the progress, right? I mean, what's your thoughts with what Markella said? I mean, obviously things have come a long way since we started at least engaging on the radio with this conversation. So how's your feelings about where we're at now with Upper Harbor?
Well, I feel good about it. I just want to be clear to people that my company's role was simply to bring all the parts together, all the pieces, all the players, all of the stakeholders together in one room over a year and a half, going on two years now, matter of fact. And I'll give you an update on our engagement that is recently happening now. But my role is just to make sure that the community has its voice heard. And I think we did a wonderful job. Some would disagree, but no process I think is perfect. But I think we brought people together. We created what we call learning tables. We had intended to only do 4 learning tables. We started in 2019. We thought we was only do 4 learning tables. We ended up doing 14 learning tables. That's how interested the community was in coming together. The developer showed up, participated in all 14 learning tables. The city participated in all 14 learning tables. The park participated in all 14 learning tables, and community came out. 4-hour-long meetings, really doing design charrettes and presentations, and people getting their voice heard and going over the 6, key points in the Upper Harbor Terminal. And we brought folks together to really get their voice heard. And so I think I'm happy with that. I mean, I wish we could have had more people, but I think we had a good number. I think we had a critical mass of community residents participate. And so where we are now is we have shifted from a learning table mode to a collective planning, collective designing. We call moving from vision to action. And what that is we have been working with the developer directly with United Properties recently to do some focus groups. And we're going to create focus groups around all 6 of the priorities in the Upper Harbor Terminal. The 2 that we just recently convened and they just recently again ended over the last few months was a focus group around economic inclusion, jobs, and careers, and a focus group around environmental justice and sustainability. And those community residents came together, subject matter experts came together over the last 4 months to really speak to the developer around how to make this happen. How do we make economic inclusion, jobs, and careers happen at the Upper Harbor Terminal? Who should we be bringing in? Who should we be talking to? Who should the players be? Are there examples around the country or around the world of what we want to see as it relates to economic inclusion, jobs, and careers? The same with environmental justice and sustainability. How do we make sure that whatever happens there does not adversely impact the environment, meaning that doesn't cause harm to the ecology of our environment? It doesn't cause harm to nature or animals or human beings, and that it's safe. That even during the development, some of the people in the focus group, the environmental justice focus group, focused on making sure that the trucks bringing in all the building materials are environmentally safe, meaning they could run on electricity, right? So that we won't have a whole bunch of trucks going back and forth, spewing out diesel fuel or even carbon, just releasing adverse carbon effects on people's lives. Making sure that the building materials are environmentally friendly and safe, and so forth. So they're talking about that. So we just actually finalized the 2. We just ended. the 2 working groups, and we had on October 18th we had a community-wide meeting, virtually, of course. We wish we would have been able to do it face-to-face or in person, but a virtual community meeting where both these focus groups presented what their ideas were to the community and let the community respond to that. So going into next year, 2022, we're going to convene 3 more focus groups or 4 more focus groups on rent creation, wealth creation, and community ownership, anti-displacement and anti-gentrification, affordable housing, and mobility and public space. Those 4 focus groups we're going to convene going into 2022. And we're going to have a series of community meetings as well around these 4 topics as well. And so we're going to invite the community to continue to come out. Of course, during the 14 meetings we did 2019 and 2020, part of 2020, of course, they were in person. And because of COVID, everybody's forced to do things virtually. I mean, it's okay, but you get the best response. You get the best interaction, the best input when you're face-to-face, when you're in person. So we did the best we can, and we are doing the best we can to make sure that community is aware of what it is we're doing. Again, my company's role is simply to make sure that the voice of the community is heard among all of these 6 priorities of the Upper Harbor Terminal, to make sure the community gets what it wants. And that's what our goal is. We're not we don't take a stand that we're for or against this development, but what we're for is that making sure that the city, the developers, and whoever else is a part of this development, make sure they include the community's voices in the design and the construction of this, and even the management, ownership of this development.
We are talking about Upper Harbor Terminal Project here with Markella Smith and James Trice. And Markella, right? I mean, the scope of this project when it was visualized is super good, right? So just talk to people and just like explain like all the stuff that's planned for this project. What is all of this? Because it's beautiful.
Right. It's massive. It's a massive development. When you think about it coming to the north side, like it's huge. So, again, like I think the people at the table at the CPC have like seriously fought for this development to benefit Northsiders, right? So when we think about what that looks like, the redevelopment will connect North Minneapolis. I would say reconnect North Minneapolis to the Mississippi River. The city is going to retain public ownership of the land, so it's not being, it's not being sold to private developers or anything like that. So it'll stay within the city ownership. It is designed to provide sustainable revenue streams to be invested back into North Minneapolis, and that's again through the ground lease payments, and also a $3 ticket fee that First Avenue will tag on to events at the Community Performing Arts Center. But it's also going to create a 19-acre Northside Riverfront Park as well as trails, right? So to kind of reconnect the trails that we already have to trails to get back and forth across the city. And then also, and another huge thing is provide rental and ownership housing that's affordable to current North Minneapolis residents. So again, we wanted to make sure that it's super attainable for our current Northsiders. And then also to build a community performing arts center and a community health and wellness hub. It will provide opportunities for community ownership and also or management of that of commercial real estate. So when we talk about commercial real estate, it's about getting these Black-owned businesses up in there, Northsiders up in there, because we don't, as I've always said, and I heard it at one meeting and I've carried it ever since, is we don't want to just be the help. Like, we want to own the things that are in there. And then also, it's designed to bring 300-plus living wage jobs to the north side. And again, with a focus of making sure that those living wage jobs go to Northsiders and not just people from outside coming to the north to get those jobs. So.
Well, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be great. What do you think?
Markella?
He threw it
I
on
think it's gonna
Markella.
be
Yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah, you.
I mean, and that's what I said from the very beginning, right? Like, I realize there's a long history of disinvestment in North Minneapolis. We've gotten stabbed in the back, like we've had things taken from us, all of that, right? But I'm one that dreams, right? I dream a lot and big things, and this is something that is, if it goes exactly how we've pushed it to go and how we've designed it to go, it's going to be amazing and beautiful, right? And it's going to really bring wealth creation and opportunity to the North Side. But of course, we can only do what we can do. We can dream, we can vision, and we can put things in place to hold people accountable.
That's what I was going to
But,
say.
you know,
I'm going to ride
yeah.
them. Let's hold them accountable.
Exactly. Yep. The accountability piece is key,
Right.
but we're trying to make sure that it's there, you know?
And you've been putting so much work in, and you've been on our show, and just all of the progress that has taken place, and we're still not home yet. It's still not there yet, but just the hard work and the process and the things behind the scenes that a lot of people who really don't know that you've put in, just explain to people. And James talked about it quite a bit too, but just, how have you been making sure that, like, people are getting their voice heard and is meeting the needs of North Minneapolis residents, Markella?
I mean, it's simple as talking to people. I said from the beginning, like, I want this to be a place where I have 3 boys. I want my wonderful teenage kids and my little guy to be able to go into that development and feel comfortable and feel like it's theirs, right? Like, it's talking to people. It's having countless meetings and discussions and all in volunteer time, right? Like, I don't get paid for that. And so these people that are at the table fighting for this, like, they're doing this on their own time. They've been doing it for the past 2 years. And so, like, we hear all the doubt, we hear all the negativity, but we also hear the positivity and things that people want to see happen in North Minneapolis. So it's just communicating, you know what I mean? And who best to do that than people who are from Northside and who, like, I've literally lived here all my life. I'm raising my kids here. Like, we do the work. We're on the ground doing it. And so it's keeping those lines of communication open and making sure that we're hearing people, all people, and not just trying to make it one-sided, I guess.
Absolutely. And when you when you say it's like your own, our own, I mean, that means something, right? Specifically to Northside, and how special is that? And just hear it in your voice. I mean, it's important that people know about what's going on around this project and the work that's really been put in by a lot of different people. So, Markella, I'll let you start, and then James, if you can kind of finish as we run up against the clock here. What are next steps, right? How can residents stay involved? What can they go to find out more information? What's next for this project, Markella?
I mean, definitely stay involved by, checking out the website. If you follow, I would say follow, obviously, the Public Policy Project to post things. Follow McKinley. We'll be posting things on social media. But just the Upper Harbor Terminal website is a perfect place to get all the updated information. Sign up for the email notifications. And if you see me out in the community, don't be afraid to ask. Send me an email. Send me a message, anything like that, because I plan to stay highly in touch with everything that's going on right now.
Wonderful.
James, last word.
Yes.
What are next steps, man, and just how can residents, and I know you talked about it again, but if there's any information, websites, phone numbers that you can give folks, please let folks know.
Yes. Well, yeah. Thank you, and thank you all so much, Glam Life, Kim, and Anthony. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. Let me just say this: I think we're going to continue. My company, Public Policy Project, and Environmental Justice Coordinating Council. We're going to continue to make sure that the community is aware of what's happening. So we are going to, like the most recent community meeting, we're going to publish the report out of there. you all from that. You can go to my website and see it. The report is not quite finished. We're almost done with it. We got some final touches to put on it. But if people go to my website, and here it is, it's ppp-ejcc.com. ppp-ejcc.com. And you'll be able to get some updated information. You can also go to our Facebook page, Public Policy Project, and Environmental Justice Coordinating Council Facebook page, and get some more information on that. But we're going to continue to do engagement. As I said earlier, that we got 3 more focus groups to convene. Those focus groups were made up of community residents, stakeholders, people who are concerned about this project and want to make sure the voice of the community is heard. So we will continue to do that going into 2022. So I invite individuals to continue to visit our website and our Facebook page to really get more information about where those meetings are going to happen, when they're going to take place, and how they can get involved. People can also email me, James_public_policy_project@msn.com. James_public_policy_project@msn.com. If you have questions, you want to know how to get involved, send me an email, and I will get back with you. I'm really, crazy busy this time of the year, but I'll try to get back with you, or somebody from my team will respond to your question. So thank you so much for allowing us to continue to make sure that the community is aware. I love KMOJ, and I love that they want to make sure the community understands and are aware of what's going on around them. So I appreciate that.
And absolutely. And listen, you two are both community leaders, man, well respected. People know your work and your passion and your commitment in community. And it's just always a honor for me to have people on the show that just really is committed to our people in the North Side. So I want to thank you, Markella, for again always coming on when asked, and James, it's always a pleasure that you can free yourself up to be on this show today. But you guys are real true leaders, and I appreciate y'all coming on today.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Markella, though. Markella is wonderful. Markella and her leadership with the Collaborative Planning Committee, those individuals worked hard and volunteered their time to do this, and did this work diligently. And so I want to thank you, Markella, and for your leadership on this. And we still have some more work to do. We're looking at the Community Benefits Agreement coming up. We're going to be working with the developer and actually McKinley to create this community benefits agreement so that we can make sure that is in writing what the developer is going to do to make sure they meet whatever the community says benefits them with this development.
Right. I appreciate y'all. I mean, I really appreciate that you guys see me. So
we
thank you for the
appreciate
opportunity.
Yeah, a lot of people see you, Markella and James. So listen, thank y'all too. Anytime there's, I'm sure we'll be talking about Upper Harbor again here in the near future. So I can't wait to have you guys come on and talk more about it. So thanks for coming on, y'all. Have a blessed rest of your day.
Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you so much.
I mean, that's Upper Harbor, Minneapolis, and I mean, it's huge. You know, if you heard the excitement in Markella's voice when Kim asked what she thought, you could hear it through the radio. So just please, if you are not informed, get informed about Upper Harbor and how to stay involved, right?
Yep.
Because I think it's super important.
It is. It is. It's coming into your neighborhood. So if you don't know, don't ask later. Ask now. Now's the perfect time.
That's true, absolutely. And Kim, man, you done had a busy day today, huh?
I did, a busy creative day. My mind has been flowing.
Man, send some of that through the airwaves to everybody. Man,
I
so
am.
we can
I'm
all
sending
get
it
some
to
of
all of you guys, everybody. I'm manifesting creative days on you.
I heard that. One love, Minneapolis. Take care.
All right, Anthony. We appreciate you.